Pearl and her dad were in Banana Park now. Dad was having a cider. They stopped on a bench so he could roll a fag. "Come on, Dad, what happened next?" So, Timothy and Andrew started climbing. The moon was rising. They could see a bit better. But they had to pull themselves up with their arms and then find a little crack with their feet and push up with their legs. Both the boys had bleeding fingertips within minutes. Every few hundred yards or so, there would be a scree slope. Lots of very awkward, broken up little rocks that moved all over when you walked on them. Then more pulling up and pushing. Eventually, after ages, the mountain rounded out and there were lots of gorse bushes, very soft banks of moss to lie on, like big pillows, and sheep munching away. Timothy and Andrew lay on the moss for a bit. The slope still rose further and further. The boys could make out a smaller, lighter coloured, slightly different shape at the very top. The moon was brighter. It was a huge pile of rocks, bigger than 4 houses, maybe more. It glowed white in the moonlight. "We got to go all the way to the top," said Tim. About halfway up the pile, Andrew stopped and picked up an egg-shaped stone. It was different to all the rocks. Very smooth and kind of see-through, with a pale green glow that came and went. Andrew stuck it in his backpack. At the very top, the boys were amazed. The moon was now right above. To the north and south, huge shadows of mountains loomed against the sky. To the west, straight ahead, the moonlight made a shining pathway as far as the sea became sky and the sky became sea. After a long time, when they started getting cold, Timothy and Andrew made their way down the mound and were getting ready to climb down the mountain. There was a massive rumbling behind them. The boys turned back to the mound. Rocks were tumbling down from it on all sides, and a pale light was coming slowly from the top. As the boys watched, tall figures appeared from the misty light. They looked like Celtic warriors from the history books, but much worse. Some rode ponies. They all had every kind of weapon, from bows to axes, mauls, spears, lots of spears. There were more warriors than you could count. Timothy and Andrew were surrounded. A very small fighter came out of the crowd and pointed at Andrew. He just stared and stared. After a moment the warriors parted and a magnificent, very scary lady came through on a chariot pulled by 4 ponies. Reining her ponies in alongside the short warrior, the Queen reached out and put her hand in Andrew's backpack and pulled out the glowing egg. Then she held it high for all her warriors to see. Queen Maeve turned her ponies, and followed by her army, she faded into a cloud of mist, back into the huge mound. Timothy and Andrew didn't waste time climbing down. Timothy slipped on the scree slope and took his whole thumbnail off. He bled a lot. In the morning, Mum and Dad were having breakfast. "Did you have a nice evening?" Dad asked. "What have you done to your thumb?" said Mum. "Oh, I slammed it in the fridge door," said Tim. "Come on, Pearl, we're here now," said Dad. "Yeah, but what happened next?" "Well, that's it, Pearl. We're at the pool now." "Oh, Dad, you're so lame," said Pearl. "Look, I'm in the graveyard." Newsom Cemetery. And all the birds are singing. It's lovely. Isn't it, Sandy? Eh? Lovely. Lovely.